Good evening. Welcome to my channel, all about Ireland. And this is Yella, your friendly advisor in Ireland. Before I go ahead, I request you to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon so that you get notification and you do not miss any of my video updates. Thank you for watching this video. In this video, I tried to cover the permission stamps and the employment permits that are required to migrate to Ireland. I actually did a video on permission stamp that exist in Ireland immigration office, but this particular video is around employment permits. This is not related to the stamps. I'll be going through the different kinds of employment permits that exist here and how to enter Ireland and how to work here with a proper employment permit. So let's dive in. General work employment permit is the bigger umbrella of multiple types of employment permits. This particular employment permit permits the holder of the permit to be employed in Ireland for a broad range of occupations. The occupations need not necessarily be critical skills. It can be non-critical skill jobs too. And all occupations are eligible unless excluded from the ineligible list of occupations. Ineligible list of occupations would be something like working in a supermarket, working in a store, working as a salesperson in a store. It can also be things like flight attendant, where there's a lot of people here to employ from. Generally, general work employment permits are 12 months contracts, but these permits can also be 3 years. They can also be less than 6 months, but generally they are 12 months contract. And the stamp which they get is stamp 1, general work permit, but not stamp 1 critical skills, because critical skills is a different work permit altogether. And the jobs that come under general employment permit, I already told you that a lot of jobs come under this, except the few jobs which I mentioned. But that ineligible list of occupations, I put it in the comments and the description. So after you watch video, you can go there and take a look at it. And when you are applying for this permit, you need to have the full description of the proposed employment, and the employer should always follow a 50-50 rule. 50-50 rule is nothing but at least 50% of the employees they hire should be from EU. They can be Irish or they can be any EU citizen, but they need to be from EU. And the rest they can hire from anywhere else from the world. So employers should follow that rule. Definitely, unless the employer is a startup. That's the only exception, but 50-50 rule must be followed by all the employers. And you need to, when you're applying, you need to have the full list of responsibilities that you are responsible for in that particular job. And your minimum annual remuneration should be 30K. In case of critical skills, it's 32K, but in case of general work permit, it's 30K. Unless the few conditions here. The first condition is you are a non-EEA student, which is again, EEA covers Europe and other trading countries with EU. And you should have graduated in last 12 months. It can be in Ireland. It can also be in overseas, but with a ICT grad position. Usually, the companies here, they hire graduates once the graduates finish their level 8 or level 9 courses. Graduate roles are entry-level roles which companies recruit for. And these roles have the most basic salary. And in case you are a non-EA student and you're not getting 30K, and the company is willing to pay you 27K, you can take up the job, but they will be giving you a general employment permit. One of my friends have that general employment permit. But at renewal, you need to have 30K. So in the first year, they can pay you 27K, or as long as the employment permit is for. And then if they are renewing it, they must pay 30K in salary to you. That's the only rule. But 27K is good enough to start. The second rule is, you see the roles there, I have roles around customer service, sales roles with relevant product knowledge. This would be at Amazon's, Facebook's, and Google's, because they have a lot of customer service roles where they need to sell technical products. Second one is online digital marketing and sales role. The third one is language support, technical sales support role, translation roles. All those come under this. But even for these, the minimum salary is 27K, and the person uh, it requires person to be fluent in official language of state for which they are providing the services from Ireland. There's another role called boner. Boner are the ones who remove the bones from the meat, and they usually work in meat shop, not meat shops, I mean meat factories, where they debone the meat for supermarkets. And Ireland is a great, exports a lot of meat and dairy from Ireland. So uh, those kind of roles are in plenty, but most of the roles, again, people who work there, sometimes students work there as part-time, sometimes Irish folks work here, sometimes some people on stamp 1G also work. But if they really want to employ people from outside Ireland or outside EU in general, they give you a general work permit, but with minimum salary as 27,500 per annum. Sorry, that's about general work permit. The next one is critical skills work permit. I made a video on critical skills work permit. I'll be sharing again in the comments and description. Critical skills permit requires you to have at least 2 years contract, and you get a stamp fund. If it's a critical skills job, you need to be paid at least 32K per month. If it's not, then you need to be paid 64K per year. Sorry, not per month, per year. So that's the basic rule, but watch the video, which I shared below in the comments and description. The other way to enter Ireland is through intercompany transfer. Wipro, TCS, these companies do a lot of in ICT transfer employment permits, to transfer senior management or key personnel basically for projects to Ireland. And ICT permit is basically 12 months permit, and it should be renewed at end of 12 months. But you still get stamp fund, but this stamp fund is different from the critical stamp fund. Always remember, different permits, same stamp. The next one is contract for services employment. I never came across people who did this, but this is basically if a company outside of EU won a contract with an Irish company and they are sending people on site for certain duration, they get this particular contract for services employment permit. The last one, the intercompany transfer, that's basically company to company, the same company. Wipro India sends people to Wipro Ireland. So that's a different employment permit. Okay, this is again duration of the contract and still the same stamp fund. Internship employment permit, this is again basically for students who are non-EEA nationals and who are studying within Europe mostly. So they can come here for an internship. And again, it's basically some of the colleges have MOUs with other colleges across the world where they provide exposure to Irish work market. So again, this is duration of the semester and same stamp because they'll be doing real job at real companies in Ireland. This is again, stamp 1G, stamp 3, many visas come under this. If you are a spouse or dependent of critical skills work permit holders or stamp 4, you get stamp 1G and you can work without any employment permit for any duration. It will be, you need to renew your stamp once every year, whereas other spouses and dependents, it's illegal for them to work, and for them to work in Ireland, they need to have valid employment permit. That's about spouse employment permit. There are few things around reactivation employment permit. This is basically designed to help non-EA national who already is in the state and is working on valid employment permit, but some mistake happened in the DBEI office or from these persons, and then they, may help the person who is already in the state to work on this. I think stamp 4 also falls under reactivation employee permit, but it doesn't really fall between the cracks. But again, you renew all the time whenever you want, for however long you want. There are a few other things around sport and cultural employment permit. These are for people who are into sports and who are conducting activities. For example, um, movie actors, they get tests, and it's duration for the duration of the shoot, and then they go back. As simple as that. Yeah, that's about all the employment permits within Ireland. If you have any queries, you can email me at allaboutireland247@gmail.com or for any further queries, you can comment below. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed the video.